Hi guys, if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Emily, and if you're not new here, thank you for the continued support. Today I'm going to be doing a video all about how I came to terms and accepted my disability. Now you may think that's a little weird considering that I've been disabled my entire life, but it's still a learning process and a grieving process. So yeah. All of that to say, so I guess I should give a little background story. I was diagnosed with spastic diplegia, cerebral palsy at the age of 2. And for reference, I'm 23, so that was a long time ago. I'm not good at math, you do the math. So that was a long time ago. And I had to go through sort of a learning curve. Now, it's not to where that I am like some people I know, to where that I like was leading a quote normal life, because what is normal these days? Leading a normal life and then all of a sudden got sick or was injured at work or something like that. It wasn't like that. I had a brain damage happen to me, and then I've been disabled ever since. But something that I did have to work through and still do have to work through on a daily basis is the idea of there's something that I could be missing out on. Like, for instance, I can't wear certain types of clothing that I would like to, because either my body doesn't cooperate and allow me to wear that clothing, or that clothing isn't suitable for someone who uses a wheelchair, a large majority of the time. And that's still a struggle because now with different clothing brands and different clothing on Instagram and small boutiques and whatever, I'm always like, oh well, what does this look like, or how's that gonna fit, or whatever. So that's a really big issue with me. Same with shoes. I can't tell you how many pairs of flip-flops I've purchased over the years, dying to wear them, begging my mom to let me wear them, because I just wanted to be like all of the other kids who wore them, and they would not work. Don't work for me. Just don't work. That's something that I've gotten over, the whole flip-flop thing, but definitely the clothing and certain style of shoes is still an issue, as I've talked about certain style of shoes in my videos recently. But the real topic that I wanted to discuss is that I remember being in elementary school. I was around like 4th grade, so that makes you like 10 years old. And I remember that I was embarrassed to tell people that I had a wheelchair, like that I was using a wheelchair. So I would say, oh, like now I vividly remember this. I vividly remember saying, oh, it's just a big accessory from Limited 2. Now, Limited 2, back in the day, was like a store that probably, think of like JoJo Siwa, think of like that sort of vibe that you would get, right? So that's the vibe, right? So I was like, oh, it's just a big accessory from Limited 2, and like everyone was just really confused. But like I don't know, in my mind at that point, that was what I was wanting, because again, I just wanted to blend in and be normal, and be like the other kids. Now, today, there's so many blogs of mothers who blog about their children who have CP on Instagram, Facebook, all of those things. And I think that if that was more of the case when I was younger, I think that that would have helped. But technology just wasn't where it is today. You know what I mean? And inclusion wasn't where it is today. You see a lot more disabled actors and disabled people in, TVs and movies. Not where it needs to be and not where it should be, but it's better than what it was. And I remember I wasn't really picked on that much compared to other people, but I also remember times where I would have people would be like, oh, well, you can't walk, or, stuff like that, and blah, blah, blah. And other times where, like, I would go to birthday parties and, like, the other kids would be running up and down the stairs, and, like, I would be stuck in one place because stairs are obviously difficult for me. Editing Emily here. I just wanted to add in one other thought before we move on to the other part of this video, is that even walking, sometimes I have trouble with people who, like, take it for granted, or like when I was younger, a lot of people would be like, oh, you're so lucky, you get to sit down all day, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, because, like, sitting down a majority of the time is actually really bad for you. So if anything, I'm at worse advantage than them, standing up and moving around. And it's not that I can't walk and move around and stuff. I do have the walker and I do transfers and stuff like that, but the majority of my time I'm in a chair. So that's that. But, like, even the simple act of, like, walking to make myself a cup of coffee, like, I'll never, like, fully experience what that's like, and that's really hard. Or, like, walking to fill up my water cup, or, walking my dog just normally, you know what I mean? Like, I'll never experience any of that. Like, yes, it'll be different, and yes, I can walk, and yes, it could be way worse to where I can't walk at all, but that's another thing that I feel like that I'm missing out on. I have come to terms with that. Yes, this is the way I do things. Like, I have made videos on, like, how I do make my coffee, and I do use travel mugs so I don't spill everything, and I do have a refrigerator that has ice and water on the outside, but just the mere fact of, like, taking steps on my own, that will never happen. I mean, who can never say never, but, like, at this point, that's not gonna happen. And that was a really big deal. It still is, because, it's a big deal. So that's just something that I wanted to add, is that walking is a huge thing that I would love to, like, that if I was able to and I could do, and, everything worked the way it was supposed to, I would love to. I would do it in a heartbeat. I'd walk, like, 5,000 steps or 10,000 steps or 20,000 steps. I'd run a marathon if I could. But, looking back at all of that now, it's made me into a stronger person, and it's made me into the person I am today, who started a YouTube channel. All of that to say, it's made me into a stronger person. It's made me into the person who I am today. It's made me start a YouTube channel. It's made me speak more openly about my disability, and overall, I think in the last couple of years I've come to realize that this is God's plan for my life, and this is, the plan, that even though disability can be really, really difficult sometimes, I've found ways to make it easier for myself. Like, I have my dog to hang out with, I have friends who love me and support me, I have amazing family, and I have you guys, and I feel so blessed. And if I could just tell my younger self to just hang on there and just keep going, and just to keep living your truth, if I could just tell myself, my younger self, to just keep going and keep living your truth. And I know that it's difficult because comparison always gets thrown in there, you know, at some point or another. Even today, still, like, oh, this person could do more than I can do, or oh, this person is at this stage in their life and doing this and doing that, and you know, whatever else. But you know, I think I'm pretty content and I'm pretty happy with the way that my life is going right now. And I think that's a large part to do with just getting older and just realizing that I don't have to fit into anybody's little box. If anything, I was born to stand out. As cliche as that sounds, I was born to stand out. And you know, if I could tell anyone watching this who's struggling, just, you know, keep going. People love you for you. People accept you for you. And if they don't, then they're not really meant to be in your life. And, you know, all those struggles and trials and tribulations and all the hardships that you've gone through, they're going to build you up into a stronger person. And you are going to be happy with yourself one day. But self-love takes work. I still work at it every single day, and I'm still not where I want to be. And so I just wanted to encourage you to keep going. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for watching.